All right. Good afternoon, everybody. Thank you for joining me today. 2 days after Thanksgiving, everybody probably going to try to get back in shape, especially the athletes after eating all the turkey and stuffing. Today, I have a special guest from Jackson Memorial who is a soccer player, basketball player, and a track star, Chelsea Lavezzo. Chelsea, thank you for taking time out today. I know a very busy weekend, especially with basketball season starting. So thank you for taking time out today.
Thank you for having me.
Now, this is going to be interesting. We're going to probably bounce back and forth, not the normal podcast I usually follow the same format. But first, just so anybody knows, Chelsea, first 3 years, Jackson Liberty, and family moved, and now they're currently at Jackson Memorial, which is same town, just across the way. So how did with soccer season, how did the transfer, how did the team make you feel for soccer?
So we started off with preseason right in the beginning of the summer. We ran a little, we did some conditioning, fitness, stuff to get us in shape, ready for the season. I've known a lot of those girls since I was little. I've grown up playing with them, playing soccer, and other sports. So I've known a lot of them since I was little. And then just coming back, it was like a great reconnect. Just great to play with these girls again, finish my last year with them. Even though I haven't played with them my whole entire life, from the time we started travel all the way up to high school, I kind of missed those few years. But it was just nice to come back and play with them again.
So that probably made the transition a little easier. The fact that you weren't going to some completely different town
No,
and
yeah.
stuff, that you already knew these girls. And Jackson, you always see, like, if you had a Memorial game, you always see some Liberty players watching, and vice versa, and especially during basketball season and stuff. So now this year, for people that don't know, you got hurt very first game of basketball season last year. Your
Yeah.
second ACL. Now, how was let's go back to your first one actually. When was your first ACL injury?
My first one was October of 21.
21. So
So I was a sophomore. It
sophomore.
was right before states was right before we found out where we were going to be seated for states. I had a Cedar Stars game on a weekend. Uh, the it was We were up, we were winning. We were playing really really well. Defender kicked the ball out. I was going to get the ball, dribbling up the field, stepped the wrong way, and I went down. I felt a pop. Super uncomfortable. Didn't really know what it was. I was just like, oh, this is weird. Don't really know what it is. Not really thinking of it until I could not walk. And I was super upset, didn't know what was going on, super confused, just not thinking of worst case scenario. It was a super devastating day for me. I was like, I don't know what's happening, what's going on. I couldn't tell you. I literally was not even thinking of it, not even thinking of the worst case scenario. It was just so hard for me to comprehend everything that was going on.
Now, when I interviewed Riley Rampone, I interviewed Marley down Lacey, and they said, Riley went through it twice, like you did, and they said that the first one, it was more mentally, it hurt.
Yeah.
In what she felt, it slowed her recovery time because it was affecting her so much mentally. Did you find something similar where mentally it really it upset you a lot and might have affected your recovery on the first one?
Definitely affected me. I was so upset that I wasn't able to finish out my last, my sophomore year of soccer for school, because all those girls that were graduating that year, I played with them in middle school. That was my last year, and I missed out the rest of the season with them. So that was so hard for me. And then during the recovery, it was so hard. I didn't really know what to look forward to. I feel like I didn't have I didn't set myself any goals to look forward to. Um, Definitely I was more mentally exhausted during the first time around than I was the second time around. I feel like I obviously I didn't know like what to expect. I didn't know what to do. I didn't know how to like do anything. Didn't know how to like do it the right way. It was like that was hard for me.
And yeah, you could just like even with the second one, it happened early basketball season, but you were able to get yourself ready, for soccer season in the fall. So, and it seemed like something similar with Riley. She was able to she knew what to expect, like you just said. Now you missed track and field your sophomore year, correct?
No, track and field. I we were pushing my physical therapist to let me run. So like just to see how it was, how I felt. So he let me run in one of the bigger meets. I
Towards
ran
the end of
he
the
only
season.
let yeah, my sophomore season. He only let me run the 100. He was super adamant, like, no, you're not running, you're not running, you're not doing it. Like, don't think about it. And then I was like, why? Like, I promise you, like, it's not going to be bad. I'm going to be okay. Like, I feel great. And he's like, fine. We talked to my surgeon about it. He thought it was a great idea. Didn't think there was anything wrong with the idea of doing it. So we went along with it. We made it far. I thought we did really well when I came back. And then it kind of went downhill after that season.
Okay. Now, yeah, I could see like with track and field, different soccer, you're not doing any cuts on your knee and stuff. So it's basically a straight
That's so
run. So now that it was a talented that you did the 4x100 and a very talented uh, squad, and even junior year, because the two twins run right, the twins. Alyssa. Now we'll talk about you and Alyssa's relationship because you two are very very close. So I just know a little disappointing, and even though I don't follow any spring sports, so I followed obviously soccer players, no matter what sport they're doing. So now I want to talk. Let's talk a little. Let's talk about Alyssa and your relationship with Coach Young, who followed you over to Jackson Memorial. But let's start with Alyssa because you guys made that video at the end of the season, the very last game. Just talk about your relationship with Alyssa.
Me and Alyssa, we've been through all together injuries, life, soccer. Like, she has always been there for me since middle school. Me and her have always had such a tight bond, especially during soccer season. We knew that we could always count on each other on and off the field, whether it was during a game, we were both like struggling during a game. We needed like a pep talk, like, here, like, do this, like, get your head, like, keep it straight, like, whatever. Um, Off the field, I knew like I could always count on her. Always one call away if I needed her. If I need to text her about something, same thing with her. Like, we were always just there for each other. And then once I came to high school, it was like the same thing as like when I transferred from Memorial, like just a reconnect, like simple, like one like this. Like, I knew like she was always going to be there for me, whether it was on the field, off the field, on the track, off the track, like whenever, like whatever the scenario is, just like she's always been there for me. I've always been there for her. Just especially on the field, we've both become like super like not confident sometimes on the field, and sometimes just like a quick pep talk with each other, just like, oh, like, we're good, like, we need to do this. We play to each other, great combinations on and off, like, on the field. There's no one else I'd rather play with. I love combining with her, scoring goals, assisting her, her assisting me, like celebrating with her. It's just great. Like, that's the whole point, like, of soccer, especially high school soccer, just having the bonds with your friend, like with your friends. Like, it's just a great time. It's just a great experience.
That's one reason why I love high school, the passion the kids have, especially disappointment at the end of the season when your team's getting eliminated, seeing the feelings come out that is just last time, especially with seniors, last time you're doing it with your best friends. Have you been able to ask the list as you're going through the recruitment process for college, which I know it could be stressful for no matter what sport it is? Have you been able to ask her questions and get her info or advice on that process?
We've talked a little bit about it. I've told her about the schools that like I was think that I'm like talking to, I'm thinking of. Um, but I don't really like we don't talk about her experience. I haven't really like, asked her about her experience. Which I mean, I definitely could. I know she would give me her input about it and what she did, what she like how it helped, stuff like that. Um, but we never like really like went into depth about it.
Now let's talk about Coach Dana Young. With you 3 years at Jackson Liberty, you got to coach one basketball game with you before you were re-injured, and then both of you moved over to Jackson Memorial. Just talk your relationship and how has she helped you grow, not only as an athlete but as a person too, individual.
Um, I mean, there's so much to say about her. She's just a great person. I've never had a coach that I've connected with so like easy before. My freshman year, obviously super hard. COVID didn't really have a season. But it all started like during soccer. We had competitions about who would score more goals when she was playing for the Lions.
Yeah.
And then obviously I was playing for Liberty. For her, we'd have competitions about scoring and like during practices, like making competitions and stuff like that. Sophomore year, when I got hurt, the first person I called, I was super upset, in tears. I was like, I don't know what to do. Just like super emotional, could not like I couldn't even speak words. I was just so like traumatized, I guess the word I can use. Like I literally like I could not. I didn't know what to do, nothing. So I called her. I was like hysterical crying. She's like, "It's fine. Like like I have your back. Like you're gonna be okay. We're gonna get through this together." Like just knowing she had my back from day one, just like instantly like we connected. We've like been there for each other for everything. Soccer, injuries, you name it. Always there for her. She's always been there for me. Um, she's just like she's a great person. She's my role model. I look up to her every single way. Like there's just nothing like you can't say anything about her. She's just a great person to be around. Always has a smile on her face. Like is super positive and has helped me grow to be like such a confident player, more of a positive person. I get down on myself a lot, especially during seasons. And she's always there, like, get your head up, like, you're fine, relax, do this, you'll be okay. Like, she's just always there for me. And I could not have been like more grateful to have her as a coach.
How you brought up COVID season was your freshman year. How for each sport, how difficult was that with you could be on the school bus getting ready to go to a game and then all of a sudden you get the phone call the game's canceled, just like mentally how difficult is that, because you got to get focused on your game and then all of a sudden you never knew it was going to be canceled, or like in certain towns the season just ended with no notice and
Yeah.
stuff. So
Um, Freshman year was definitely hard, especially during soccer season. A lot of the girls ended up testing positive for COVID, and I just so happened to be around them. So I was,
guilty by association.
yeah. Um, so I missed my first round of states as a freshman. I couldn't play because the one girl tested positive for COVID, and that girl was bringing me home every day from practice. So I missed out on a lot for freshman year. Missed out soccer, basketball, track. My season got cut short for basketball. The only positive I can say about it is I was able to do both winter track and basketball during the winter. So that
Like
was
they added that extra season,
the
right?
extra block season, yeah. So that's like a big accomplishment because I'll be one of the first girls to walk through Jackson with 13 varsity letters.
That's an accomplishment right there.
Yeah.
Um, Now, since we're talking a little about basketball, just to talk your relationship with Ari, because I was when you got hurt, I was disappointed because the 1 year she worked her butt off, your sophomore year,
Mhm.
and she worked her butt off, and you relieved some of the pressure off her, that freshman year. You had a pretty good freshman season. Just talk your relationship with Ari.
Same thing with Ari is like the same thing with me and Alyssa. Ari has been there for me on and off the court. We've always worked super hard together, always had a great bond, like, on and off the court. I knew that I couldn't count on my post player to take a girl for me and set a good screen so I can go to the basket, or I give her a good pass and she's one pass away and hits a bucket. Like, she's a great player, a phenomenal player, and I loved playing on the court with her. She was always there, um, and she always will be.
Now, let's stick with basketball with Jackson Memorial this season, a young team, and you're coming in. Even though you're coming in as a transfer, you're going to be one of the senior leaders playing for Coach Goodall. Now, talk your relationship with Coach Goody, because I know first of all, she loves multi-sport players. She's one of the basketball coaches sometimes try to keep you just to play basketball, but I know she's one of the coaches that enjoys the multi-sport athletes. So just talk your relationship with Coach Goody and what you're looking for this season.
I mean, she's insane. I love her. She's a great coach. She's been a coach to me since I was little. I've always gone to her camps and her clinics, and anything she ran, my dad would always sign me up for, and I would be there in a heartbeat. And I was on that court with her from the time it started to the time it ended, and maybe a little bit afterwards, and did a little bit of extra shooting with her or something like that. Um, she's definitely going to push me a lot. She's going to help me become a stronger player for both soccer and basketball. She's going to help me grow mentally. I'm super excited for the season to play with these girls. Like I said earlier, I've played with some of these girls since I was little. It's going to be a different season from the past seasons that I've had. Um, uh, she's definitely going to make sure I'm on my A game at all times.
Yep.
And I know that it's not going to be an easy season, but I'm going to have to push through that, both physically and mentally, which I know she will help me with. She's tried to get me to come over to Memorial since before I was in high school, and I didn't want to. I was always gonna stay loyal to my coaches and my friends to play with the girls I've grown up with over on the other side. Um, but now that there's not much left, I felt like it was gonna be a good change for me, and I feel like it's always good to have, like, a little bit of change in your life.
Now you brought up playing, because my niece did the same thing with she does the little ballers camp.
Mhm.
Do you think that's such she has such good success as a public school that she starts working with these kids in Jackson when they're 3-4 years old, because basketball usually start a little bit later than that, but she runs that little baller camp at 3 years old. Do you think that's and she has such a good bond with these kids up and through, even once they're in college?
Yeah. Um, that definitely has a major part in her success. I mean, she's just li she's insane. She wants it more than anyone else. Like, you may want it, but she wants it more than you. Like, no one wants it more than her. She wants it for herself, she wants it for her team, like, she just wants it all.
Now, one of your sisters is a freshman. How is it, being together, soccer season? Does she play basketball?
No.
She does track, right? She does
Yeah.
track. But how is it, being in the same school with your younger sister?
Um, I mean, I don't see her a lot during school. Obviously, it was different during soccer season. Um, she It was a little rough for her in the beginning. She wasn't very excited to come over and switch, even though all of her soccer friends were on this side of town anyway. She was the only one on the other side, so this switch, I don't know why it would have been an issue for her, but she started off a little rough with soccer. She wasn't, like, super confident, and then halfway through the season, she was like, during the game, she started progressing, becoming more confident, and then she was brought up to the varsity team. So playing on the same field as her when she got a few minutes playing varsity was, like, it was nice to play with, like, your sister. Like, so a lot of people don't get that in life. They don't get to play with their younger sister on the same field. And it's like it's nice as a senior to play with your freshman, like your baby sister. It's nice to have someone that you know will have your back as well as like your other teammates.
It's I know it's rough. It could be tough as a freshman, especially with upperclassmen. When you were a freshman, did you have somebody you could go to if you had questions or if you felt, like the way your sister felt at the beginning of the season?
Yeah, there was a bunch of girls, whether it was a sophomore, which I had Alyssa,
Yes.
whether it was a junior or a senior, I was super close with all of the girls in different grade levels. It wasn't just one grade or my grade. I was super close with all of them. And like my freshman year was, even though it was COVID, like that was the year like I truly felt like that was a good bond and a good like a strong family, like as a team.
You being the senior leader for basketball, soccer, what is something you hoped you passed down to the underclassmen that they could take with them in their journey in high school?
Um, I would say um battling through adversity is definitely a big thing. I've done a lot of battling through injuries, my whole high school career battling injuries, to like different things that happen in life with death and moving, stuff like that. Just battling, knowing like the people that you have, the people that are surrounding you, knowing that they will always have your back, like staying with the people that you know always have your back and like the ones that true like that love you will always be there for you. Just making sure you always have someone that you can go to no matter what is like a big thing to have.
You ready for some rapid fire questions?
Yeah.
All right. Favorite movie?
Um oh god. Probably Elf. It's a good Christmas movie.
It's a good time of the year to bring that up too.
Yeah.
How about TV show?
Grey's Anatomy.
And that's been on. You surprised how many athletes say that movie, and that's been on a TV show. And 20 years now, is it around there? 20. It's got to be
Something like that.
close. Favorite school subject?
Math.
Man. Something you enjoy to do when you're not doing sports on your free time, if you have any free time.
Um Probably hang out with friends.
What is your go-to song to pump you up before a big game?
Um all of the lights.
By who?
Um
Uh,
I
I don't know today's music.
I think it's Kanye West.
Kanye? Okay. Um, After you're done with school, would you still be interested in staying involved with the soccer, basketball, the coaching, or training? You know,
Yeah. That's always been something that I was looking forward to after school.
okay. All right, let's talk your future now. What are certain things you're looking at as you're going through this recruitment process with colleges? Like you're looking to stay local, size of the school, any of that kind of stuff is something that is attracting you.
Um, I mean, whether it's local or it's up and down the East Coast, I mean, that's really what I'm looking for. I'm going from New Jersey to South Carolina, somewhere in between there. Um, it's smaller. I feel like a medium-sized school would be good. Not too big, not too small. It's not like obviously I want like the experience. I want like the football games and stuff like that. But like I don't need like a big football school.
That is funny you said that because that was just brought to my attention like a year ago during an interview that football games is a big deal. Like and it like you said, it doesn't matter how big or small. It's just one player told me it's just something where the whole school could get together, where the school spirit and stuff like that. Because I know people gone to schools with no football program, and it's there's not much going on there. So, do you know what you want to study?
Um, so I want to become a physical therapist. So it's exercise science, kinesiology, health science, something in that area.
All right, you ready for the last question? What advice would you give your younger self, or how about even your younger sisters?
Um, I would say, uh, working hard until you know that you have finally become the player that you know that you want to be for the rest of your life. Not giving up, staying positive throughout any bumps in the road that you have, staying strong physically and mentally, and just staying who you are, staying true to yourself.
All right, very good. Chelsea, thank you for joining me today, and good luck this basketball season. And you're going to be doing track in the spring too?
Possibly.
Possibly not. Okay.
On fence.
Okay. Well, good luck. I'll definitely be seeing you on the basketball court, and good luck with club soccer for the
Thank
rest
you.
of it. All right. All right. Thank you, everybody. Hope everyone had a good Thanksgiving, and I'll be seeing basketball players on the court very soon.